Hey everybody, I hope you're having a good day, a good weekend. Today I have pulled up the legislators. It's so funny. I just want to say, first of all, because I'm looking at myself in the webcam and my skin is like so wild. Look at this. That is not natural. Oh my gosh. I've had that happen in Zoom calls where I'm like on the Zoom call and I'm like sitting in the conference room with a bunch of people and I look at the camera and I'm like, is my face that red? And they are like, not even remotely anything like that. It must be something wrong with the camera lens. At any rate, I wanted to just take a moment to review this specific website because I am in the process of pursuing a lawsuit against a practicing medical physician in the state of Maine. And, I went so far, I have filed against his medical licensure, and they sent him a letter telling him that I had filed against him. He responded, and I didn't have access to that response until very late December. And so this was filed like way back early last year. I was legally supposed to receive a copy of his education, my medical record, and the Attorney General for the state of Maine has just refused to provide me with all of that information, and they've refused to answer an open disclosure or a federal open records request. I outlined several items that I was requesting. He just said, nope, not going to do it. And he wouldn't put it in writing to state why or anything else, which is obviously against the law. But anyways, here I am. And I am trying to move forward with a lawsuit. I wish that it was a criminal suit because 2 weeks after I saw this doctor, the private areas of my body began being harmed, including my breasts. Right now I feel something, it feels like kind of like radiating on my head. My hair is thinned significantly in the past 2 weeks. I'm just facing a lot of day-to-day abuses. Probably about 20 days out of 30, I experienced the harm to the private areas of my body. I've had to do a lot of research. First, I had to learn to talk about it. And I've had to do a lot of research on how this is being done. Not very many people have come forward or tried a court case where this has happened to them, even though I'm sure it's happened to a lot of other people. So I'm just prayerfully, it's my day of rest, but I am trying to move forward and get this done. Anyways, I am hoping to show up to a judge in the state of California and petition them to require that the case is jurisdiction is California, because I do not believe that the doctor lives full-time in the state of Maine. I think he's hired and he basically travels around doing this to people, to women and children and men, uploading their measurements of their private areas so that they could be harmed without someone physically standing in the room with them. I think most people have heard of the military doing those tactics on prisoners, like beating the crap out of somebody without standing in their presence, where a person could be bruised head to toe and the camera would show that no guard ever stood in the room with them. This is not different than that, except for it's sexual assault. Anyways, I'm going to go back to this screen recording here. It's Chapter 21 of the Maine Health Security Act. Now, I want to point out a couple of things. Mandatory pre-litigation screening and mediation panels. Whenever I first pulled this up, it looks a little cleaner now. It looked like somebody's child threw it together and threw it online. It looks a little bit more like a legitimate website. It does have a the website is legislature.maine.gov/statutes/24/Title 24 SEC 2853. Any rate, it says here, it goes through, if you read it line by line, if you have any kind of legal background or legal knowledge whatsoever, you can see there's a lot of really strange aspects in here. One of them is Notice of claim must be filed with Superior Court within 20 days after completion of service. I don't know what Superior Court that would be. The state of Maine does not have a Superior Court. It is federal court and it is district court. At the time of the filing, claimant must pay clerk a filing fee of $200. I've never seen that kind of language in any sort of a lawsuit. There are specific filing fees that are involved with filing a lawsuit that are just applied across the board. At the time of filing notice with claim with the court, it doesn't really even substantiate which court specifically. I guess they're saying a Superior Court. It's pretty unclear. And then, okay, so now is when it gets weird. Under number 3, it says waiver. Any party at the time of filing apply to the chair of the panel for a waiver of the filing fee. Who is the chair? Like, this is not a judge, obviously. Is this just somebody that's randomly selected? If determining indigency, blah, 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 on and on, civil procedure, Maine rules, it's not normal civil process. None of this is actually. The party is or was an employee, and they were doing it in the course of their work, which I believe, I don't know if, I assume that the doctor was hired by someone, but I think he should be individually held liable. I would much rather be going to a criminal trial. The pretrial screening. Okay, so I guess this is the process of screening for a trial. The pretrial screening may be by... Now, keep in mind, you have to, apparently, according to this document, file something against the doctor's office within 20 days of... This says the visit, but it's not really clear at all. For me, the harm didn't start happening until sometime in the 14 to 21 day period after I saw the doctor, which maybe it was intentional just to somehow negate responsibility, which usually pisses judges off. At any rate, I just wanted to go ahead and get this together and show it because it shows just how just erroneous the system is. And it also, to me, it personally feels like other people might have a different set of rules, and that for some weird reason I've been designated these rules. And I know that's not entirely logical. But this whole, what is it, Title 42 looks like just the bit one at Title 24, Chapter 21. It just looks like a hoax. And so, anyways, just be praying for me that I can get jurisdiction in a place that's easy for me to reach. Really not super happy about going back to Maine. And it's not just this doctor. I have a feeling that he has some co-conspirators. Prior to my seeing him, I had a birth control implant put in, and I think that that's somehow been a part of the facilitation of this harm. But I don't know. It would have to be acts of discovery. Things would have to be done and come forward in order to figure out just, the why, the who, and the where of everything. I know what I've personally experienced, but I can't suppose anything beyond that. And that is that I have been harmed in a consistent and ongoing basis, and that people have made it known to me that it was an intentional act on a consistent and ongoing basis. At any rate, I'm going to turn this off, but I'm going to make efforts to start sharing just my process in pursuing justice, so you can see what a big bag of poop it can be sometimes.